My name is Ethan Jones, and I'm the owner of MindRight Wellness. We started MindRight Wellness, my wife and I, back in 2018 in my spare bedroom. MindRight was found almost out of necessity for myself and a lot of the health issues and conditions that I've dealt with over my lifetime. What you can expect from myself and the crew here at MindRight is always positivity. We are very passionate about building people up and educating and empowering others with natural health. A lot of times people come here and dealing with a lot of personal issues, health issues, and they're trying to find answers somehow. And it's a pleasure to be able to take my personal suffering and experience and give them hope and understanding that there is a possibility of doing better. And so we really try to push the message of positivity, healing, energy always. Kratom has been something that's been dragged through the mud in so many different ways. We have been a huge proponent here in Missouri of keeping Kratom legal and educating legislators and lawmakers and the general community about Kratom and how to respect Kratom. So Kratom is actually something that I have my most passion with because it's something that saves lives with the fact, there's no doubt about that, but it's also something that needs to be respected and educated upon. And so that's what our logo actually is Kratom Leaves. We've been producing our products, high quality products, for a very long time and helping and saving lots of lives because of that. So Kratom is where my biggest passion lies for sure. But with that, we have broken into so many other different avenues of healing, and especially with our mushrooms. Our mushroom products are super cool just because they do so many profound things for people in their immune system, more internal. It's not just about getting high here. We're not just here to push like a drug or like a head change. We really focus on people becoming well, MindRight Wellness. And the mushrooms are something that can change lives in a major way because each mushroom have their own little personalities, their own little specialty, and we love to educate people about what those are. And it's always fun to be able to kind of let people understand that there's so many other kinds of mushrooms than just like psychedelics and stuff like that, because that's all they really know. And so it's super cool to be able to take these medicinal mushrooms people have been using for thousands of years and provide really high quality products that we have in-house and watch them change their lives with that too. So between the Kratom, the mushrooms, and then we are also into matcha. Matcha green teas is something that people love. It's a great alternative to the general coffee abuse that people are, doing and taking every day. And so we like to provide quality product in that sense. Those would be my top three. But then, of course, we love our CBD products and stuff like that too. They have their place and time for everything. But what makes us most unique is hands down our Kratom products, our mushroom products, and our matchas, just because these are things that we control, we produce, we manufacture. And then one thing that's cool is now that we have a brick and mortar, not only do we manufacture our products, we also retail them all in the same place. So we get to keep really high quality standards, but also keep our pricing at a fair price just because we own everything and represent them to you with no middleman, or the ability to have, what should I say, a product that is old or sitting on the shelf. All these are fresh made products and sold to you directly. MindRight, I came up with the name MindRight back in, about 2017 or so. I've been using Kratom for like 8+ years. When I was 17, I had I I tore several ligaments in my knee, had a surgery, got in a car wreck soon after, and actually dealt with about 4 or 5 years of opiate abuse myself personally, just from the pain. And then obviously wasn't expecting, that to happen, but I don't think a lot of people do. So I found Kratom through all that healing process of getting myself, clean, but also dealing with a lot of the pain. And, my friend exposed me to Kratom, taught me how to use Kratom. And while I was using Kratom, I thought it was really interesting because at this time, this was around like 2016 at this time. It was really weird because to me it was never something bad, but then out of nowhere, the FDA is trying to make it a Schedule I drug. And so that was a really odd time because I thought I was about to lose something that was like saving my life in a lot of ways. And I was sitting there talking to my best friend, and I was just so upset because because he uses Kratom as well. We were really upset. And then with that, we're like, well, what can I personally do to make things different or better to help maybe protect Kratom rather than just talk about it? I decided to start producing Kratom product, importing my own product, like from farm to fresh sales of Kratom. I was really passionate about doing that, but in that whole process, not really expecting to create a business out of it. But once I understood that this is something that needs to be protected, I honestly believe that there is no better person to do it than me, because I understand the history of Kratom, I know the truth of Kratom, I know the science of Kratom. And so I felt obligated to be a voice of Kratom, especially here in Missouri. And so the wheels started turning, and I was just sitting there, I was asking my buddy, I was like, well, what does it really do for us? And we're just like, it just like kind of gets our mind right, because we were grinding hard. We worked a ton of hours. We did a lot of, we worked really, really hard at this time. It was really tough. And so Kratom was also something that was helping us get through and achieve a lot of the goals that we were trying to achieve without just abusing the hell out of caffeine or whatever, and so the idea of getting your mind right was something that kind of stuck, and then just translated into the whole business. And that's what we all, that's what we love, is just help you kind of get your mind right. Because a lot of times when we're trying to seek and find different products to help us, a lot of times it's just a mindset. And it's not always just about using a product to change your mind or change your head, your headspace. It's about the whole entirety, just getting your mind right, between your physical, spiritual, and your mental mindset, like all of that is something that we incorporate here at MindRight. And so the name just seemed fitting when we opened up a brick and mortar shop too. You can find us here downtown Columbia, 1009 East Broadway. We're right next to Jimmy John's and Hot Box Cookies. You can't miss our little shop. It's a cute little shop right here on the strip. But you could also find us on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok at MindRight Como, MindRight Como. And then we also have a website. You could see everything. We have testimonials on there of people that we help, just true stories of people just putting themselves out there talking about what we do. And that's MindRightWellness.com. When we get asked that question, or I've been asked that question before, I kind of chuckle sometimes to myself, because like all people need natural wellness, and we have something for every person, whether they are dealing with sleep problems, like general pain. I have Lyme disease, and so I deal with chronic pain issues, so something that can help with like just general pain management is something that's very nice to have available. That's not going to like ruin your life. And so because of that, we have all kinds of different people, between old people, young people. Pain don't really discriminate, but we also have a lot of college community kids, looking for just general stuff for energy and focus, like our mushrooms and our cordyceps and stuff is just nice to have. It's not habit forming, and they're not addictive. They give them what they want to, get a lot of work done just without having to be stemmed out of their mind, or, just going through the Adderall craze and stuff like that. We got kids that use like our teas, parents are getting more into teas. We have over 50 different kinds of teas here in the store, just herbal teas. People are just looking for just alternatives for general wellness, you know. And so if you're a person that's trying to seek wellness and finding alternatives and want to be educated on what's available, that's just kind of what we do. So there's not really one type of person. However, we can help pretty well all people. Yeah, so like, to know a little bit about myself, I guess, so you understand the point of why I do what I do. As I said before, I've dealt with, addiction personally, dealt with that for years. And, a lot of products in here, especially our Kratom, is something that helped me get clean off of a lot of things that will kill you. And in today's world, we have a lot of issues with that. I've lost a lot of friends to that. And so the net good of Kratom's always going to be a positive thing in my eyes because it saves lives in that nature. Kratom isn't for everybody, but it does save lives for the people who need it. However, with that being said, again, we're about wellness. We're about health and wellness. We're not just about those types of people who may necessarily need Kratom like that. Again, we also have so much more to offer than that. After, I dealt with that whole deal and got well, I was very healthy. I was an athlete, used to do lots of, bodybuilding, and was very heavy in that community. I started MindRight, just like I said, in my spare bedroom. We were just kind of wheeling and dealing, just kind of figuring things out. I was doing construction. I just got married. Things were really good. I was 23 at the time, and I got bit by a tick, believe it or not. And, being from the country, I wasn't ever really, I didn't really think much of it because it wasn't really a problem in my eyes. So I didn't really do much about that until my arm just started swelling up, started getting really weird symptoms. Went to the doctor several times about it because I, like I said, it wasn't just a normal tick bite. After I realized after a week or so, it wasn't just like a normal tick bite. It wasn't going away. And I, like I said, I kept going to doctors, couldn't get any answers, no answers. I told them about the tick bite. Was getting really let down after thousands and thousands of dollars of lab testing and, specialists. No one had any answers for me. Their answers for me was to write me a script for opiates and muscle relaxers, which is something I am obviously heavily against after I even told them I've had addiction issues with those types of products after surgery before. And so I was really desperate. I lost 50 pounds. I got shredded down to my bones, basically, is what Lyme did to me. I couldn't walk. I couldn't feel my feet anymore. I was having convulsions. I was having muscle spasms, wicked GI issues. I was losing a ton of blood. I was heavily anemic. Honestly, I thought I was going to die. Most people do die from Lyme disease, not necessarily from Lyme disease, but just by suicide, just because it's such a savage experience. But I couldn't really give up in the sense because, I had a family that loved me. I had a wife that cherished me. So we had to continue to push on. And the things that we do here in MindRight are really just things that were built out of my own experience of suffering and pain. The mushroom extracts is something that helped rebuild a lot of my immune system, at least get me functioning again and feel somewhat normal again. That's something I'm very passionate about because I personally had an experience with them. I don't know if it was for that, I wouldn't have really reduced a lot of my general fatigue, my brain fog. I don't know what I've done without some of those things, especially the days, I went over 4 years undiagnosed with Lyme disease, just eating away at my body. My friends didn't know what was wrong with me. My family didn't know what was wrong with me. I didn't know what was wrong with me. I was scared. Because of that, it also induced an autoimmune disorder called lupus, to where my body attacks weight-bearing joints. That's something I'm still dealing with today. I still deal with chronic Lyme, but those symptoms have really been kind of put at bay, mainly just through all the health, nutrition, and everything that's necessity for treating Lyme. But those days that I would wake up and couldn't walk or function or honestly just didn't want to be alive. I thank God for Kratom those days, because Kratom is the one thing that helped push through that pain levels, and I knew it wasn't going to kill me. I knew it wasn't going to ruin my life, and I'm very thankful for the things that it did for me. And cannabis is something that was very big for me too. Just for the depression, the darkness that kind of came from the Lyme disease. So yeah, it's just kind of a progressive issue, that I've dealt with ever since really kind of about 17. It was just between the addiction, getting clean, life was good, and then, I wasn't expecting Lyme disease to hit, and it did, and you can't really just give up. And so I really built MindRight out of just the necessity for me to live. But I also know there's a lot of people out there that are dealing with a lot of other personal problems and issues, whether it's autoimmune disorders or just general pain, car wrecks, depression. Like, I understand that all because I've been there in entirety. And so it's just something that I'm very passionate about because it saved my life. And MindRight is something that I know has saved other lives too, because they tell me that. Hundreds of them already, if not thousands, because, again, they tell me. And so that's what keeps me going, is because people matter, you matter, I matter. And just because of whatever circumstances we're maybe under right now doesn't mean it has to be forever. And it's nice to be able to create an environment of hope and positivity and love for people to just come, ask questions, educate themselves, empower themselves, and ultimately get results as well. Like, that's what we're here about. We're not here to just sell product. We want people to get better. We want people to get well. And we're not the end all. We're just tools. We offer tools. We're not here to claim anything of that nature. However, we have a deep network of healers in the Mid-Missouri area that we can connect you with, and we all work together as a team to help people live a better and healthier life. That's the point of MindRight, and we're just kind of a central hub for that. And so with that being said, if you hear this message, just understand, we understand. We don't have judgment. We love you. We want the best for you. And we ask for your respect as well, because we work really, really hard to make this a possibility. I don't think anyone really does understand the struggles and pain and the stress it has taken on myself personally just to keep this thing alive. But now that we have that brick and mortar and we're continuously growing in the community and building relationships and getting that education and understanding to so many other people, it's a beautiful thing to see MindRight getting accepted and taken into the community and really, changing even more lives. And it's just a very blessed thing to be a part of. And, I'm just very thankful for God just to put me as his tool to continue to do this. So that's something I wanted to share and just make sure that everybody understands is, everything about MindRight's about love and wellness and healing and positivity and moving forward with life in the best way you possibly can. Any last words I have is just, if you're questioning anything about what I'm saying, that's okay. Like, I've been there. I was the biggest critic of everything before I believed in anything. What we do is pure. Our intention is pure. What we provide is pure. We don't want anything to harm anyone, and we want people to succeed. That's why we do what we do. That's why we create our own products. We're not just retailing other people's products. We own these things. We sell them because we know what's in them. We know what they do. So we're not fake about anything that we do. And again, if you have questions, all we ask is to reach out and respect us as well, because it can change your life potentially. That's all I ask. And I think there's a lot of people that get nervous about these types of things, and all we want to do is create an atmosphere that's comfortable for you to be able to ask questions. That's no pressure in any way, to see if there's anything we can do for you. And if there isn't, maybe there's someone that we know that can do something for you. Again, we're about healing. We want love for you and yourself. And a lot of times the pain, the struggles, or just general life as a whole can be really tough. And so we want to make a place for you to find answers. And that's all we care about. Come find us here downtown Columbia. You can't miss us. We're right on Broadway. And thank you for taking the time just to listen. And we love you.